Right guys, we're back because I had a bit of a nightmare. I went on it and I was about 6 seconds slower than last time. And it all felt strange. It turns out I was on a wet setup, which explains why. And then I came back on, hit a wall. But I spent hours, well not, I'll say hours. I spent ages figuring out why it all felt weird. And looking at the data and stuff before, so I thought it's probably not the best video to watch. So I thought let's start again. So here we are. Welcome back to the Master of the Track series. We're in the Ferrari 296 GT3 at Bathurst. Bathurst, is that how you say it? That's how I say it anyway. I think iRacing's had some updates since I've last been on it, so sort of trying to fill them out a little bit, but this is a section that we're going to be focusing on today to try and piece together, and while doing so we'll try and just get a bit of rust off in this car and refresh ourselves on how we drive this track. And from looking at the times on Garage 61, I don't think, with all sort of like settings, temperature, track temp, air temp, track state, I think with all those sort of like equalised, I don't think we're all that far off the pace, which is a good sign. So brake where the grass starts there, nudge that first curve but not as much as that. It's like the tiniest kiss, sort of miss it. About 70 metres for the first corner, maybe a bit later. Use all the exit. And down here, after the slip road on the left, we're braking. Minimum speed through here. Coming it all the way out, that wasn't ideal. Close the wall on the left, brake after that. Hook the wall there. Got a big run after this corner, so I want to get on the power as early as possible. All the way up here is flat. Not fully up to temperature, I don't think, but and flat through here, or unless it will be. Slight ease off for now. Turn in before the curb on the right. I think probably keep it in fit through there. This new section, we're going to brake. That's better. So on the top of the hill, on the right, like the first, like the crest on the top of the hill on the right, we're going to brake pretty much at that apex, which is later than I was doing before. And it also means we need to hook it slightly tighter to that right hand side, so that's going to be the focus for today. And then as we dive down the hill, we can use more of the track on the left hand side, and then we just need to be keeping the minimum speed up through the rest of it. We're back in the realm of lap time where we want to be. Kind of want a sip of tea, but can't do one yet. I remind myself I'm not going for all out lap time today. I'm just building it up. Good technique. And we'll focus, and if anything we'll push it more on the mountain bit, and if we make mistakes, we're hopefully going to try and keep them to the mountain section. Right, so ease off a bit here. As the curb starts there. Can hook the one on the... Yeah, it's probably a bit better. I was into ABS a bit on those corners, but right, let's have a cup of tea. Gear change your right hand. You can sort of spike the brakes quite a lot and not hit ABS. I was thinking in these cars I needed to try and really roll on the brakes gently, but I don't think I really need to as much. I think I can sort of just trust my usual technique. Right, so the new iRacing updates have definitely made this car faster. Because I think that's faster than any I've done before, but I was a bit too quick in that. Avoid that curb on the right too much there, because it sort of pitches you up and you jump the car and lose speed. Bit of a confidence lift through there for now, but oops. Right, we braked a bit early, but yeah, that's where we can gain the time. So we want to be hitting, maybe using more track on the left, and then we can keep the speed up through the rest of it. I think we're definitely getting there, guys. I mean, when we first did this session, this series, and we started, we were lap times of like 2:05. We've done a lot of learning about the car, a lot of learning about the track. A little bit wide there, but that's fine. We need to make sure we don't overdrive it, especially not turn 1, because our turn 1s have generally seemed to hold up quite well. That was better, a bit more patience and control through there. That was less than ideal, but oof, that was close. Right. So the top of the mountain, the other guys were easing off a lot sooner than I were, but then they gained the time back sort of later in the corner from a better line and keeping the minimum speed up. So we just need to exercise a bit of control and a bit of discipline sort of through it. I definitely prefer second for that. Oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake.
You've got wheel damage. We got damage on the front end.
So in my head what I was thinking was, with more tyre grip, I was thinking I'd turn in later, like not before. I'd turn in at the curb, which pushed me wide. Yeah. Ooh, we tried to save it, didn't we? Never mind, it's all learning. Let's go again. Let's go again. I may have already lost my patience for the old cold tyres. Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Somehow save that. Oh, incredible. I say incredible. Far from incredible, but... Just going to stick to turning in early for that. That's more like it. Cut that a bit on the power early. Bang. Aggressive there. Smooth on the breakthrough here. Yeah. Turn the turn that down a tiny bit. That feels nice actually. I think it was a bit too heavy before. There's a lot of adjustments going on during this session, which I don't think is ideal, but because every time I change the FOV, it's kind of adjusts your judgment of where the side of the car is, but a little bit eager there, but definitely a lot faster through that. A little bit of understeer, but oh yeah, I forgot that. You're turning at the tree on the left. Straight line it through here for a sort of little distance and maximise like the revs building as much as you can. Still a bit late to turn in there. Oh yeah, that was quite good, wasn't it, actually? Like with how close you can run it on the left, on the right, sorry, to the wall at the top. The rest of it wasn't very good, but that was better. One thing I do often when I come on and I'm sort of searching for time, I get this thing in my head that like I'm slow everywhere. And it's a bit of a confidence thing, and I don't know why I'm like that, and I kind of look for the bad and it leads to a lot of mistakes, but I think I need to remember that actually we've set some really good sectors so far on here. We don't do GT3s and iRacing a lot at all, obviously more so lately. We don't really come on the sim all that much. And we've learned a lot about this track so far. Turn 1 we've got nailed quite a bit at the time. This corner, the following section, you know, it's taken a bit of time, but we have learned a lot. So it's fine to make some mistakes when you're still learning. That's kind of what the sim's for. Hook it close. Traction there. Turning at the tree. Flat through here. Minimum distance through there. A bit of a confidence lift through there then. That was minging, but oh, I messed up that. That's okay though, that's what this session is all about. Learning this mountain bit, I need to remember that. We're not going for an all-out PB. We do get some technique back, that's what's important. I'm a bit late there, but that's fine. Just something else I'll babble on while I'm babbling all things driving. I think one thing I've noticed is I run my brake pedal is really short and really stiff, and I think I can probably have it a little longer and a little softer for these cars. I think it'd give me a little bit more sort of control, especially kind of when you're trying to be really smooth in places. Two 227. Held the brake maybe a tiny bit too long during that, but power really is key. Oh, I think I had a bit of a USB mess up then. Did you see what happened? Definitely, it locked on. That's okay though. Somehow we still were a bit... Oh, that wasn't as good. About. For some reason the corner at the top of the hill today, the fast left, that seems to be a bit of a bogey. Oh, that was wait a bit more aggressively through there. Bit too late though, messed up the exit. A good run out of there then. Keep it off the crown in the middle of the road. Pull it over. That wasn't as good, annoyingly. I feel like my brain's mapping it out though, which is cool. And there's a lot to be said in this car for getting your braking done in a straight line. Like here, just hold a tiny bit more braking in a straight line and then turn in. Look, I gained like a tenth there. Turn in before the curb. Let's just focus on keeping it in fit. Hook that wall on the left, on the right, sorry. Cut it on the left. Don't mind a nudge of a wall. Yeah, I messed up that. That's fine. That last corner, so much precision is needed. And try the same through this bit, just keep it in a straight line under braking for a little bit longer and then turn it in. Oh, carried a bit too much speed in entrance there, but alright. Keep it in fifth. That was frustrating. I lost a little bit. Did actually manage to gain quite a bit through that top of the mountain section there though. Confidence of braking later. Bit too eager. That's fine. Need to avoid bunny hopping over that curve for sure. Yeah, I messed that up big time. Need to have a bit more restraint on the top. Bit more restraint at the top. Keep it on the right, and much tighter to the right. That is where I'm messing up. I know it is. Because not keeping it right tight enough on the right is making me have to turn and brake for the other bit. And it's putting me sort of offline, and then I'm just basically losing time through the whole section. That felt a nice turn one. Woo. That last lap felt decent. What were we on? We're on a 2:02.1. Let's have a watch. Off board. Nice, good brake trace. Well, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I am chuffed with that. Let's have a look sort of where that puts us in terms of analysing laps. Analyse fastest lap. Create a new analysis. So that's our best. So I want to add a lap from fix out. 207. That's fast. Setup available. This should be fixed though. Why isn't our lap on here? What do we get? A 2021. So we're 2021. 202 all the way to, and then I'm not sure about that one. I don't understand how 21, 21, 23, 23, 20. That's impressive though, how he's been able to do that. So let's have a look at that, and then let's have a look at one that's so that guy was 2 tenths quicker in turn 1. Higher speed. Braked a bit earlier, but pretty much the same. Don't really get how he's gaining that much time. Section 4. So we compared to the blue line. He has higher average speed all the way through there. So again, I'm sort of like easing on the brakes slightly there, but he's all the way. He's just a lot more confident, to be fair. A lot more confident, and then he brakes harder. Keeps a higher average speed. So my average speed is just generally lower through all that. It's not bad exit, but my exit speed, my mid speed is a bit low. 5. I'm not convinced by how that's. I'm not just saying that, but one is like a second quicker than everybody else. Fix 25, no subject. It is about the same, to be fair. Cooler track though, which does make, I think cooler is basically better, but low usage. So, let's go to set to 1 good. So we're still losing a bit of time through the mountain. Sort of, it's just confidence through that bit. Having the minimum speed through there. Our line was better than blue. And we did run a bit wide on our good lap there. We ran a bit wide there, which is probably why he managed to keep a higher sort of minimum speed at the apex. Set to 5. A little bit more gentle on the brakes. just had a higher higher minimum speed. Fair enough. Final section. Weird how his brakes locked at 80. I had the lock at 80 all along. That's interesting. He must have a setup. It must set it so it stops at 80, whereas I basically peak at 100. But I didn't trigger ABS though. So he just had a bit more apex speed, and we hit full throttle about the same time, but he just got on the throttle a bit sooner, which helped him a tiny bit down that final straight. And to be fair, he kept it in third as well, which is interesting. So I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm gonna leave it there for today, but I'm fairly chuffed with that. I don't know how that guy got like over a second and a bit quicker, but decent sector 1, decent sector 2. Well, we're faster than that guy sector 1, about the same sector 2, faster sector 3, and then the mountain bit we just need to focus on. I did turn in early there on my lap, I knew that too early, but just need to focus on more commitment, brake later there, more commitment through this bit, higher minimum speed, and obviously just need to hook those bits up a bit better. Higher minimum speed through that one, and then maybe even try turn 3 through the last one. I might even do that now slightly. But overall, I think, like I said, let's I'm on fixed setup, moderate usage, track set between, because mine was a bit lower, wasn't it? So 20, oh no, mine was higher, sorry. Wasn't it? Mine was 27. Oops. So let's go for a higher track temp, moderate usage, fixed setup. And we're talking about season, I think that's just this season, isn't it? So similar, moderate low, 34.29 for 3.5k, 2033. To be fair, even if we just looking for a decent 4k driver quicker than, but 3k driver 2017. So it'd put us like P3, wouldn't it? So that is a fairly representable comparison, that chap. 4/10 quicker than me through mainly sector 4, minimum speed. Sector 5 are quite similar, to be fair. And then a final sector, minimum speed, and see what He did go down to second. He was on the power a bit earlier. What about this final corner? He braked a I did trigger ABS a bit, to be fair. Just see where he gained that time into that section. So gain time. I'll run into there because he kept the high minimum speed because he braked less hard. But then he picked up the throttle a bit sooner. Yeah. Right. I don't want to overdo it, guys, but we're not going to go for an all-out fastest lap again. But it's quite clear to see where the extra time is, so yes, please. So I'm just getting offered a drink. So through all this section, we don't need to do anything different, just keep focusing on what we're doing. Focus on the technique, focus on the exit, and just driving exits. Smooth, driving nice. We need to be braver through there. I'm not good to practice on cold tyres, and then make sure I'm hitting all those bits through there. Slight minimum speed difference through this corner. Probably just roll it a little bit more. And we're going to try and maybe go for a slightly less aggressive earlier throttle, slightly less aggressive braking. Cold tyres though.
You cut that corner, you got a slow down penalty.
Cold. Cheers, on. Oh, ta. Having a drink brought to me while on the sim, that's goals, isn't it? I do still think the tyre model has changed on this with the new updates, but for the better. I think it makes you focus more on how you look after your tyres and probably how you manage them through a race distance. Need to not hit that curve, to be fair. I love being able to see data because it's fascinating. You kind of think you're going quite quick and then you just realise it's tiny, tiny bits everywhere. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm tempted to say we can probably go quicker today, but literally jinxed it. Oh my god! Second time we've done that. But this section we definitely know how to get that quicker. That's a definite bit of time gained. This one we know we need to just keep the minimum speed. I'm going to have another drink. And then final corners were again good, but I think probably like in a few places just tiny like bits of minimum speed where I can gain. I'm not going to gain from that, but that was better through there, wasn't it? Striking a fine balance between aggression on the way in and maximising the exit on the way out for that one. Right, let's go. That went wrong. Right, once we get up all into peak lap time conditions and we get a bit of fuel off, I think we're still feeling alright. Really focused on being early on the power through there. I think I did get a decent exit actually. Decent turn one, considering we're still running a fair bit of fuel. That was shabby. Considering how bad all that was, that's not sort of shows the potential we've got. Yeah, then you lose it all from just being a bit too greedy. Final bit, but that's fine. Have another drink. Bit of time gained out of final corner there on the Delta. Wow, what a decent turn one. I was kind of recovering that all the way down the hill, unfortunately. Didn't quite hook it up. was quicker though. Oh. I hope that damn it. Oh no! That's so annoying. Oh no, 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 no. Let's put a bit less fuel in because I want to kind of just. I don't have all that much patience left, I don't think, for this. But I feel like there's a good timing is. Though we have to remember, it's not so much about setting a good time, it's just setting a nice clean lap, but just need to sort of rein it in a little bit, I think. Smooth everything out again. Don't overdrive. That's exactly what happens when you begin to lose your mind a bit. As I was saying, patience. And I wasn't saying that, but patience is what I need. And what I was saying was, need to rein it in a little bit. I've got the pace in there and the pace in the car, so I just need to not overdrive it. Remember, there is such a thing as cold tyres. But we're going for learning, Harry. I'm not trying to go mental. Can keep it so close to those walls there. Really aggressive on the power there. Sort of nudge the wall, but ideal not to, obviously. Right. You can sort of use that curve if you hit it right. Oh. Oh, I've done it again. What an idiot. Am I an idiot or what? This is what happens when you kind of go on for a while and you just kind of get a bit impatient and stuff. I wonder really when you start getting on the throttle. If you get on the throttle a bit earlier, you can probably ride the curb a bit nicer if you get on the throttle. A bit earlier. Right. We've had a 10-minute temporary lapse of all driving ability. That's probably a bit harsh on myself. We've been hot lapping for a while now, and when you're hot lapping for a while, these things happen. Hot lapping is better when you're sort of fresh-minded, but I want to push myself and I want to keep improving. And I feel like I've still got enough calmness in my mind to get back in a bit of a rhythm, so that might be cold tyres still, Harry. That might be one way of keeping the minimum of speed up a bit more through that hairpin. Just maybe hug the wall a bit more on the right hand side, just to open up the just to open it up a bit more. Right, it's another build lap. Settle in and trust the car. It's a lot smoother through there actually if you give that apex a little bit of space. I feel like every time I do that I kind of get one bit a bit better but one bit a bit worse, but overall I feel like I'm sort of getting it in my head. I think that bit will probably take more than today to get a really good consistent judgment of where the right hand side of my car is. That was a bit too quick. decent turn one. Give that curve a bit of berth, avoid the little jump. Smooth through here. Turn in early through here. Still wasn't amazing, but it was better. And this is a bit of a make or break corner, this one, isn't it? But might still be able to touch it quicker, but no, we're a bit quicker, surprisingly. Oh, I had a little USB mess up then, which was annoying. So that's that lap gone. It's another practice lap. Penultimate corner, I need to not overdrive it, but I need to do it better. Right, another practice at the mountain anyway. Messed it up. Wasn't tight enough on the right. Silly, silly, silly. I mean, I did gain some time, but I wouldn't say it was like time that I gained well. I just... yeah, I lost it anyway, so... Right. Get a bit of a plan for this one. A little bit of understeer, but I messed it up again. What a Idiot. I mean, to be honest, I have been hot lapping for a while now, which I think is why these little mistakes are happening. You do kind of go nice and clean.
You have about 5 laps of fuel left.
A tenth and a half that last bit, but up until that it was looking good. No! Oh! It teases me. Honestly, this game ruins me sometimes. Why would it do that on such a... Ah, that was a lot, wasn't it, as well? If you didn't see, the USB's just stuck on. That's happened about 3 times today, so of course it would happen on that lap. I'll have to go again. Bit more control needed down the hill yet. I don't know if my approach before was right, because I said about taking it a bit wider to get the minimum speed more, but I think it just kind of pushes me offline, and it just pushes me offline and I lose the grip, so stick to what I was doing originally, I think. Oh, and again. Oh, I can't believe it. It's like this game teases me so much. I don't want to end the video by moaning, but it kind of says, oh, this is what you could do. And then just when the time's right, it says, nah, now I'm gonna mess up your pedals. Practice the mountain again, a bit more control. Did gain a bit through there actually, and it felt a bit more controlled, and that was good an exit, but I mean, realistically, probably the reason why I got such a good exit on my personal best run last time was because I slowed it down a bit too much midway through. I don't need a fuel low sign on. Wonder if I can change when the low fuel warning marker comes on. Warning marker, warning sign. Practice the mountain again. That was better. That was way better. That was how it should be. That was exactly how it should have been. I wish I could take that low fuel sign off. It's really annoying. Definitely the right way, a bit of a later apex. I mean, I did that. We've got better. That's all that matters. We have got better. So that is all that matters. We've improved today. I'm gonna watch that lap back with no sound, guys. So it may be boring for a little bit, but I want a recording where you can't hear me breathing like Darth Vader. Right, guys, I am buzzing with that. I mean, we did do it on low fuel, obviously, on a fairly used track just by myself. So, but I feel like we could probably do that lap again, similar. Maybe with a fresh mind, we could probably even a fresh mind and able to hook it all together. I'd like it and go a little bit quicker, a little bit though, because that was a fairly decent lap. I'm quite chuffed with it. Yeah, I think we're almost ready for like a lap guide, lap tutorial. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you've watched, I'm chuffed with this, and I think we've learnt a fair bit. So I'm looking forward to the next one. See you all soon. Thanks for watching. If you have watched, hit the like and subscribe button.